Hey everyone, it's David here from Evolve. Been meaning to do this video for a fairly long time and show you all how I prep food. The quantity of food I eat is fairly significant, and I have to always be finding ways that I can cook decent, tasty food that's really simple and fast to eat, so fast to prepare. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do it all, start to finish. Hopefully you get something out of it and it can help you be able to prep your food to make it a lot easier and a lot faster and make it more, consistent, where you're not going to get caught out and have no time and have to make really bad choices, because that's basically what it's all about, is being prepared so that you don't get stuck. When you're stuck, you made really bad choices, you get hungry and you go, you know what, stuff it, I'm just going to eat this or whatever, and it's really easy to drop the ball that way. So here we go. So I'm going to start with veggies first. For now, I'm going to be eating some mushrooms. So all I'm going to do is just chop these up. I'm no master chef, by the way. I'm not amazing with knives or anything. Don't have to be. I just cut it nice and thin so it cooks a lot faster. And this is going to be enough for 2 or 3 meals of mine. So my first 3 meals are always vegetables and meats. So I stick to fats and protein in my first few meals, and then after training I load carbs, so I backload carbohydrates. I found this to be most effective for me to be able to keep a decent body fat level and stay very sensitive to insulin, which is what you want, and that way your body's ability to store fat isn't as high. And you can stay fairly lean, and the carbs go where they need to, which is in the muscles where we want them, rather than as fat. I choose these white button mushrooms because they are extremely healthy. They're really good for you. They're a very good anti-cancer food, I should say. And they have been shown in studies to be far more beneficial to be cooked than raw. So giving them, putting them over a pan is a pretty good way to do it too. So what I do is I cook everything in grass-fed butter. This is essential for me. Best thing to cook any of your food in or add to any foods. With grass-fed butter, it's very high in essential fatty acids. It's got a perfect balance of omega-3s in it, which is very unusual or uncommon for a lot of different foods. Grass-fed specifically is a lot more beneficial because it contains a lot more vitamins and minerals and things that it needs. So some really good ones is it contains CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid, which is a really beneficial fatty acid. One part that's really good about it is that it helps the body be able to build muscle rather than store as fat. So that's one thing we definitely want. Also contains things like high levels of vitamin A, which is another essential, very overlooked vitamin. It's one of the 3 most important antioxidants in our bodies. And with vitamin A specifically, the only real way you can get it and absorb it properly through food is in actual saturated fats or fatty acids. So, and animal fats, we should say. So you can get it through some vegetables and non-animal related products, but your ability to be able to absorb the vitamin A is extremely low. I think somewhere around the 3 or 5% mark. Don't quote me on that. So basically all I do is just add some butter into the pan. Let the butter go and heat up. While it's doing that, I finish chopping a little bit of zucchini to go with it. So I just cut it all into slices and just chuck it all in together. Not really too fussed about presentation as such, it's just about getting the right quantities of the right things. Any green vegetables are great for you. Usually contain more fibre. It's great to be able to absorb and digest things like proteins and fats, which are fairly hard for people sometimes. Obviously very low in calories, so great to eat, easy to prepare, not really much to it. So it's got a bunch of mushrooms, bunch of zucchini, in the pan it goes, and that's basically it. Once I've browned off and got the vegetables going, all I'm going to do from there is add some baby spinach, because that doesn't take very long to cook. From there I'll add some crushed garlic. Garlic is another, as we all know, really great food and superfood, I would say. Amazing qualities that you don't really get from anything else. And a really cool one that I saw was they did a study on about 38, almost 40 different types of vegetables. And what they did is they got the extracts of the vegetables, and basically what they did is they dropped cancer cells into all different 38 different varieties. And out of the cancer cells, they used, I think it was about 8 different types of cancer cells. So ranging from breast cancers, lung cancers, etc., etc. And what they noticed was there was a lot of vegetables and that had really good anti-cancer or cancer-fighting properties. The only vegetable they found that had a 100% success rate at fighting cancer cells of all 8 types that they tested at the time was, believe it or not, garlic. So add that as much as you can to most of your food. As we said, lots of benefits in all different ways. But yeah, one really cool one is the anti-cancer one, which we all want to some degree. So all I do is just add a tiny bit of that in. And it's up to you what you want to be able to tolerate and taste and etc. I don't put too much in because I'm going to have to train some clients today. I don't want to be smelling too much like garlic. And so I'm just going to let this go for a little while. While that gets going, what I'll do is get rid of all this and show you how I cook my chicken. So this is what most people ask me, is how I cook meat and keep it so that it's tender and things like that. So I'll show you how I do it. This is the quickest, easiest way that I can cook chicken, which suits me just fine. I don't like to stand over stoves and be cooking for long amounts of time. So all I do is tear off a few sheets of the foil. As such. And I've got a pack of chicken here. This one's 1.3 kilos almost of chicken. So a fair bit. For most people, that's a lot of chicken to get through. So all I do is take the breast out, pop it on the foil, and each one. And then from there, all I do is add some lemon juice. Don't need to go too hard with this, just a sprinkle. And so what lemon juice does is keep it tender, keep it moist. So from there, all I do is just wrap the chicken up like a parcel. As such. Doesn't have to be anything great, doesn't have to look good. What you want to do is wrap it up, but not super tight. You want some air to be in there, because what will happen is lemon juice will, start steaming and boiling and so forth inside there. It'll keep it all inside the foil, and it kind of gives it a bit of a steam effect, even though I'm just about to roast it in the oven. And that's how we keep it pretty moist. Because as we all know, with chicken breast, it can be pretty dry, and after a few times, you don't really love doing it, eat it so much. And all I do from there is get my oven tray and just line up my chicken. There's all my chicken on the tray. In the oven it goes. I put it on for about 45 minutes to 50 minutes at 175 degrees and keep the temperature fairly low-ish when it comes to cooking chicken. And just let it cook out. Otherwise, obviously, the higher the temp, the drier it can end up. So I'd rather keep it there for a little bit longer at a lower temperature, and I've seen that to be really successful. So veggies are cooking. I'll give them a bit of a stir. And then while they're going, I've got rice. So all I do is just use a rice cooker, some rice. A lot of people talk a lot about, which rice to go for or whatever. I'm not super fussed, to be quite honest. I haven't noticed a big difference between using different ones, whether it's brown, basmati, black rice, whatever. Obviously some are better than others, and but I find it fairly marginal, to be honest. And all I do is add my rice in. So 3 cups of rice, add some water in. So you've got to make sure with rice, when you use a rice cooker, that you actually wash the rice. And basically what you want to do is give it a bit of a swirl, and keep going and rinsing it until the water's no longer cloudy. Because what we're trying to do is get rid of a lot of the starch that's in the rice. Add water. About cup for cup. Rice cooker on. That'll be done in about 20 minutes or so. Finish off the veg. Add the spinach in. More the better. And that's about it. I have got everything ready. That's vegetables for 3 meals, rice for 3 meals, chicken for 4 meals, and I'll have some eggs in the morning to go with my veg. And that's pretty much my whole intake of food for the day, apart from shakes and things which I have, during post-workout, etc., etc. But obviously that's not for everyone. But I just showed you now how you can cook 3 cups of rice, which is, turns out to be about 6 or so cooked. 1.3 kilos of chicken and enough vegetables for at least 3 to 4 serves in, how long have we been going? 14 minutes, all done. Once the timer goes on the oven, I pull the chicken out, chuck it in the containers, separate the veg and carbohydrates and rice, put it all into my containers, leave them in the fridge and take them out as I need them, heat them up. I heat them up for about a minute and a half per meal, and that seems to be fine, just warm enough to be able to get some warmth in it, but not overcook it so that it ends up really dry. I guess that's a bit of a tip there for you too. So hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you've watched this and you can put these kinds of methods, I guess, into your preparation. You know, vegetables are vegetables. They're pretty easy to cook. Just choose whatever you want. I could have added, anything in there like capsicums or anything in there really that's a vegetable, and make it sort of a bit stir fry-ish. And that way you can really get some really good food in. It's very easy, very quick, and it's easier for you to be able to reach your goals. So hopefully you like that. If you've got any other things you want me to see how I do, or shed some light on, you've got any questions about any of it all, just comment and I'll be happy to put another video up for you. Thanks.